Hey, team players, and welcome back. We got an awesome day today. We got two little boards we're going to be doing here today using Underdog. And by the way, the reason we're doing the little boards is because of the cap limit. We're not getting the massive amount of influx, and you actually get more meaningful results. And it's so powerful. And guys, we're excited to have you here. If you are here watching the stream live with us, you have to be a subscriber to submit your comment. We're just letting you know that up front, but feel free to join in with us. Bob, have you got any initial goals and what you're going to try to achieve in your drafts today? Let's hear them.
Well, yesterday we went live with a solo dolo, little bit of the big board action, and that was at the request of Scorpion. And what we talked about yesterday is not being afraid to take the value that does come to you, but being careful and wary of how you're constructing your team. So, for example, right, let's say AJ Brown falls to you, but that was not part of your plan, and your plan, and you're thinking of, oh, like yesterday I got into the dilemma in the fourth round. It was Zay or AJ Brown.
Ooh.
And AJ Brown, we think, has the potential to be really good, but we don't know what his situation is. But we do know Zay's situation, and we do know that he has the potential to be very good on that team. So we click Zay. But being aware of that and how you want to build your team is very important. And also one of the things that we mentioned was, and this was at King came in and was talking about this. Last year, King placed 9th in the big board. And
nice.
Shout out to him. And going after rookie running backs later. Not necessarily targeting guys like Jeremiah Love, but seeing where that value is comparatively to other people and using your leverage on tight end. So we've done plenty of drafts where, our viewers have watched and saw that we have taken late tight end. The return on late tight end, though, is very minimal. So it is not often. You might get a Sam Laporta, you might not. But it is not often that you're going to get the Harold Fannons and the Sam Laportas out of that tight end grouping that's very low. So you're losing out on maximizing the potential out of, say, a running back that you draft in that same situation, given that maybe that running back only needs 1 or 2 injuries to maybe make a head. The fact is that both of those plays are very speculative. But
sure are.
If there is one that hits that you would want to hit, it is more than likely going to be that running back position. So overloading in these early tournaments, your 20 rounds, we talked a little bit about yesterday.
Well, here, hold it before we dive into that. We're going to start the little board at 3:56 Eastern, guys. 3:56 Eastern. So, Bob, you also get ready to click enter.
So we talked a little bit about this yesterday, is that I'm not necessarily worried if I don't, and again, this changes as we go through best ball season. So come Best Ball Mania, this opinion will change. But in the little board season here, there are so many content creators, for due reason, wanting to come out of the first 3 rounds with 2 running backs. And it is absolutely imperative that you take a step back and really dissect that for a moment and say, it is important, but how important is it knowing the hit rates of some other positional talents?
Sure.
So like we have, if you've been a viewer for a while, you know that 2 years ago, we went into drafts and we hammered running backs early.
I still do. I love running backs.
And there's no problem with hammering running backs early. But what we do know that is a fact is that running back injuries happen, and the next guy up usually, not always, but usually will assume some leverage on the carries. And that is not necessarily true with wide receivers. If a wide receiver gets hurt, those targets get redistributed somewhere else, not necessarily to the next one up. So the value of getting a top flight wide receiver versus the value of a top flight running back is very differentiated, if I will say this. So it's like, Amon-Ra versus James Cook, both are tremendous. And you're not going to, and I don't think you can go wrong with either of those guys. But as you circle back down, it's still plausible that if you don't go James Cook in the first round, you still get something really good in the third round. Okay. like a Brace or a Kyron or somebody of that ilk. But you could have loaded yourself up with 2 primo positionally, if situations bang the right way, 2 primo wide receivers that have the chance to be slam dunks. And, at this point in time, everything is purely speculative, right? So you're chasing that high. You're chasing the ability to really crash into a high ceiling and hopefully surpass that. If one of those running backs hit, we already know that that's going to be great. But what if you're the drafter who's not scared of Drake London, who's not scared of CeeDee Lamb? You end up with CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, and hey, by the way, you get Breece Hall as well, and Breece Hall maybe goes to be a slam dunk. What's happening, Dark Side? Likewise, don't be afraid to take a guy like Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers has positional value. Yes, you're taking
left for you who want to jump in here, guys. We're doing a little board on Underdog.
Yes, you have to take him in the second round. But what we saw yesterday is that there are so many variations of team construction, and you could be done at your tight ends by the time George Kittle gets drafted. Maybe you want to take one more, and then you can hammer those speculative picks more by not wasting that draft capital early. Like, for example, if I take 2 running backs early, the likelihood that I'm smashing running backs in those middle rounds, probably not super high. But we know that there is value to be found in there. Peanut, it's a definite shift in me. And Peanut, I love doing the one with you last week, man. When we look at the shift that happens, and when we look at this ADP, you can do this a quick exercise, and this is just based off of the ADP rankings, not like any one person's rankings here. But if you look at the variation here, right, is like the AJ Brown, Tet, Kyron, Travis Etienne, Ladd, Garrett Wilson, Jamo, Devontae Adams, Scadaboo territory. Yeah, it feels good to take some of those wide receivers, but that is equally where Breece and Kyron are. So Breece and Kyron still have that chance to pop for you on a weekly basis, but you're not losing out on the value that potentially Justin Jefferson could be. And the other thing that we pointed out yesterday as well is talking about the ability to stack within this framework, right? So I'm sitting at 10, Joe's sitting at 12.
Love it. Any of the rest of you guys in here as well. Remember, it is set up that you have to be a subscriber to be able to comment. That's a new YouTube feature.
So not being afraid to lean a little bit into a 2 or 3 person stack, knowing that the more players you stack, it does have a limiting factor to your roster, but also it can maximize those points. But getting like a dirty George Pickens, Dak, Jake Ferguson stack, not bad.
Get dirty.
Getting some of these wide receivers though, and it's problematic.
1-3, right? All right, man. Yeah.
And it's problematic with a guy like Justin Jefferson, where we don't know who his quarterback's going to be, but we can play speculation games. We can say, okay, in the last couple of rounds, maybe they go back to Kirk Cousins, or maybe they go after a rookie, or maybe they bring somebody in, right? And so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to look at in this range, and the ADP is constantly changing. The more drafts that are happening, we know this. Brian Thomas Jr. flew up the board. Marvin Harrison flew up the board. Jalen Waddle threw up the board. While I love those guys, there might be a better team that has been created with those guys. So you really want to think about that, maximizing those positional values as well. So Dark Side is in at 4.
Oh, I love when you guys are right next to each other. We're basically right next to each other, Bob. I always hate being on the turn. Gotta get used.
I mean, I'm not too concerned for you at the turn. Puka dropping to 5 makes a lot of sense for me. There was some people are reacting to news of the coaching staff saying, well, we don't know if Stafford's going to retire. I mean, even if he does.
I'm convinced the moment Stafford retires, the Cincinnati Bengals will get 7 first-round picks, and then the Rams will have Burrow. I'm convinced that's the kind of thing the NFL would do. Specifically, the Rams would do.
That would be wild. I'm not going to lie.
I have no fear with the Rams and McVay doing something crazy like that because that's what they do. And Burrow's the one they would get.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Burrow with McVay. You must just give him 7 Super Bowls now. It'd be great.
Wild. That would be wild. It really would. So I don't have a problem with any of those 3 running backs on the board. I think that they are clicks for me sometimes. But like I said yesterday, I think more often than not, I am clicking them on raw 10. And now I get that the situation, is variant based on the coaching staff and such. But I do have a concern. I do have a concern overall for Goff. But leaving the door open, Yesterday I built a Kings in the North team. Joe, if you want Jefferson here, probably should take him.
I'm probably taking Jefferson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jefferson. The coaching staff in Minnesota is too good not to figure it out. I mean, I know they just fired their GM really late in the process.
All right, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something I normally don't do. I'm going to bring a guy up just to show you how a build like this can work.
Okay. Well, here's the other part. With it being February, there is not a set ADP yet. I mean, there's a very real chance, although that might be the peak for Pickens.
I think it is. But the reason
what if McCaffrey ends, there's a world where he ends up climbing. I'm just saying it.
There's a reason. So I brought him up. I talked about him yesterday, but I brought him up to talk a little bit about variance. Is that if these 2 wide receivers are successful right now in the little board, odds are that there's not as many teams with that specific build. So just getting a little bit different. It's not so far from his ADP. Yeah, sometimes he goes in the 3rd round. That is true. Just to show you a little bit about the dance that you can do with ADP, leaves a little bit out there. Usually I would go with Trey McBride there or Brock, and that's fine. London and Nico for Kings of the South. I like that, WFN. I'm not on the Nico bus this year, but it is very possible, if not very probable, that if London continues to slide down people's boards due to them being uncertain of how
as he should
the coach will use him, there are possibilities that you can get Nico and Drake London at the 2-3 turn if the thing works out. I'm not a big guy on Nico this year. Hasn't cracked 200 points in a while. The offense looks very poor. I'm not about that situation, even though he is the alpha of a poor offense. Do you think that Kwesi gone means McCarthy is gone too? Absolutely, FK. All of the news that I'm hearing about that tells me that the market has really flipped on JJ McCarthy. And he is he's an undraftable asset unless you get him way past ADP. And that's the problem with owning Jefferson. If you wanted to stack him, it's very difficult to do so.
Oh, no, I definitely understand not wanting to stack him.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see when the first quarterback comes off the board. Bob, I know we talked in passing the other day about Josh Allen in particular, and you ended the show by diving in the fact that he only really had 3 weeks where he was a top 3 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that means not worth the top 5 rounds. But as always, first quarterback off the board, end of 3rd round for ADP. What are your takes on that?
I'm not a fan. I know he can be the number 1 overall quarterback. I don't have a problem with that. But the thing is that if he doesn't fall, like I said, to the 4th, I don't think he's worth taking, personally. Because it's too much value vested in Josh Allen. He's going to have to smash. He's going to have to absolutely smash that ADP to return investment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that guy took him because I had Cook, and he didn't want he wanted him. And you think about your stacking, he knew that I wasn't going to take him anyway. But I see the risk of a stack there.
Now, I did think about Devonta Smith there. Devonta Smith normally falls to the end of the 4th, and I thought about Devonta there to go with a little bit of Jalen Hurts action. because I haven't taken a lot of Jalen Hurts, and I do think that Jalen Hurts is worth it to take in these early drafts. There goes A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. But seeing how the A.J. Brown drafter is really, really close to me, there's no way to protect Jalen Hurts. And I think that if I go
Hurts is probably going to him in the next round.
He will probably take him around earlier than he needs to.
Yeah.
Had I taken Devonta Smith there, he definitely would have taken him at the top of the 5. So Joe here going with the build, a 1 running back build. And Joe,
that's very rare for me, but the reason I did it was because I'm on the turn. And the guy next to me was already running back heavy, so I know he's going to do a receiver push.
He will.
This way, I'm less likely to get used. That was how I took my analysis.
WFN, I'd guess McCarthy rides the bench while the free agent starts. Russ may have the arm strength KOC likes. There's a couple of quarterbacks that they could probably get themselves into, and I would question some of those choices. But overall, I think that there's a good enough crop of wide receiver, or good enough crop of quarterbacks that they can access. And
Darkside, I love your team right now. I love your team, Darkside.
Even if it's only for a little bit. So there goes Lamar.
Absolutely love that team, Darkside.
But also, when you go wide receivers a little bit early, like you have here with Darkside, with Olave and Jackson Smith, both of those quarterbacks are 11th round, 12th round, 13th round value quarterbacks. So if you wanted to stack them, they're very cheap and easy to stack. Igbuka, another wide receiver that's very cheap, very easy to stack. If you wanted to go with multiples from a certain team. So there's just a lot of different ways to think about it. You would think that the Colston Loveland owner would have went Caleb or is going to take Caleb in the next round. But that Roma Dunze owner is there. You know, it takes everything in me, Joe, to not keep clicking Terry McLaurin.
I mean, you do you, baby. I think McLaurin is a trap. I mean, he's there for you if you want him.
Yeah, I know.
You did it again, dude.
I'm gonna eat the trap, man. I'm gonna eat the trap.
Eat the trap.
The guy, what's going to happen here is this guy with the 2 Eagles wide receivers is going to take Hurts on the comeback.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be fairly common. Love you, Dark Side. Now, DeAndre Swift, I'm not a huge fan of. That feels like you got nervous and I needed a running back.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The risk on Devontae Adams was there. And I look at the running backs down the line. I have to take one because I need to get a starter.
But see, that's a fallacy though, because there's so many things that can change. Like Javonte Williams last year, we dogged him so much, ended up being the starter, ended up being a slam dunk. And that's not going to happen every year. But
I know.
You know, it's definitely something to really think about. Now, you look at the guy who took Jalen. He's also got 1 running back. You look at the guy over here, BGN also has 1 running back.
Which means there's going to be a run.
There's going to be a run. It's going to be like It's a Wonderful Life. There's going to be a run at the banks.
Yeah, and the question was, basically my choices was Devontae Smith or Stevenson. I mean, that's really what my choice was.
Darkside, this is like the thing. Like I think this is my 11th one of these little boards out of 20. And it's so very, very difficult for me not to keep, and I haven't at times, but it's very difficult for me to not.
I really love your team.
Daniels. There goes Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren's been pumped up to the 7th round. I think that's fair for a guy like him. We're going to open the door here with one of these, hopefully. And like I said, I'm a person that's not super scared of I'm not super scared of not having like the top flight running back. I'm just not.
No, you have shown that many times, actually.
I mean, there is, like I said, there is value to be had. But I definitely, just want to think about that. All right, so we're gonna go with Pollard here, and by no means do I think Pollard's like tremendous, but I mean, it opens doors. It opens doors. Kyle Pitts.
I just have Chicago's running game now, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and so like I could have taken Dak there, where I took Pollard to go with a Jaden Daniels Dak. I'm going to try to set up a Goff to go with Jaden Daniels. A little bit of a lower floor than Dak. If Dak falls, I doubt I see Dak fall past the CD guy on the next turn, if I'm being brutally honest with myself, and that's fine. He takes Trevor, so it's fine. The race to 3 QBs is pushing up the position. Darnold is the 120s now. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. WFN, I think if everything stays the same, that the necessitating that I need 2 QB or 3 QBs. You saw me draft one with only 2. And, if I had gone Dak there instead of Pollard, went Jane Daniels, Dak, and then Laporta, I probably would have stuck at 2. Being brutally honest, Joe doesn't have any quarterbacks left, so he's going to probably be playing a little bit of a game that we played last week. Dark Side doesn't have any running backs or any quarterbacks either, but I like this team, Dark Side, with going with the rookie of Price there after you taking two running backs that are probably going to get the majority of the share of their team's carries. That's absolutely something that is worth exploring. And there's a lot of wide receivers and there's a lot of running backs here with some unknown situations. Dallas Goedert is a free agent at tight end too. So he could land somewhere that will be inevitably better than, some other places. So it's something to think about. If you don't play the quarterback game early, there's still Stafford, Purdy, Bo Nix. What I don't like seeing is now quarterbacks being taken in the 6th, 7th, and 8th when those 9th round quarterbacks are just fine. I love Godwin. The Godwin Igbuka setting up for possible Baker Mayfield. I won't be sniping any Baker Mayfield. That's, but.
No one's sniping Baker Mayfield.
He's been sniped prior to some people. This guy probably will go Brock Purdy, seeing the quarterback room diminish soon. I'm going to go Goff here just to protect my investment. Protect my investment in Laporta and Amon-Ra.
No need for Goff. There's not a stack at all.
I got a stacky stack, man. That's why I bought Laporta, to set up that stack, man. Jordan Love without Tucker Kraft. Without Christian Watson. I don't like that. Oh!
You hate Reed. I like Reed.
I hate you. Oh my God, I hate you.
Dude, I like Reed.
That's fine. You can like them all you want. We're going to go with Ja'Cory. I haven't drafted Ja'Cory in a little bit. We talked yesterday about Emmett Johnson, the value of that Tyrone Tracy can provide for running back teams that are looking for running backs. There goes Johnson right there. He's climbing up people's boards. Right in that Ja'Cory Krosky merit stage. And like I said, by no means do I think Ja'Cory Krosky merit is the best running back on Washington. He was just given the opportunities at times. I do question if he'll continue to get those opportunities. So something to really think about when you're doing these. Taking Godwin probably will prevent the snipe. Also, the fact that this guy has 2 quarterbacks already, I doubt with only having 2 wide receivers that he takes another quarterback here. Now that's playing it spicy there on the other end. I like David Montgomery, free agent. Could land in a good spot. Fourth running back.
I think the best spot for him is right where he's at, though.
Not bad at all. Again, Dallas Goedert. The situation could be crazy for him. Picking him up as a speculative play to go with Colston Loveland, I think is great for FK there. Oh, there goes Baker, sniped. Over by in the trees. That sucks. Well, I see why you went David Montgomery there. All right. But that's okay. I'd probably go Shook here, though.
Yeah, you have Olave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the problem is I got to play Joe on the other side of this, so.
How is that a problem? I'm just collecting receivers here, especially the ones you hate.
I mean, I've talked ad nauseum, Joe.
And this is why when people say you're doing collusion, it is so wrong, because Bob tries to actively screw me every drive we do, whether he's explicit or not.
I love Jayden Reed, but I cannot stand how they use him. And the coaching staff is still the same, so I don't see any reason why they wouldn't use him the same way.
Well, no, it's not changing. Yeah.
So I have a hard time investing. I have a hard time investing in that. I don't know. That maybe that's just my. All right.
Oh, you took my boy Tracy.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm gonna take one of your boys. So I mean, it's not like it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it did.
You could play your George Kittle. Plus, if you want.
Oh,
he's good.
Well, Dobbs isn't gonna be there. I think Dobbs gonna be in Buffalo, but.
Oh my God.
Hey, I just got myself a little Green Bay stack, baby.
Now I was gonna take Ferguson there, but because I have George Pickens and I don't have Dak, I decided to pass on the tight end. One of the things I do like is to take tight ends tied to the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Particularly a guy like Goff, and Dak, who are pocket passing quarterbacks. The thing is, we don't know who the Jaden Daniels, who he's going to be throwing the ball to, because like I said yesterday, Sinnett's still on his rookie deal. Ertz and Bates are not probably going to be on that team next year. So they're probably going to look into free agency somewhere. And with some assets becoming available, I really think that that's a possibility for them. Yesterday we saw somebody do a whole Tennessee stack, Joe. It was wild. The Green Bay Joe Packers, baby. That's the thing, Joe. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
We'll start feeling it.
I mean, you did start feeling it. That's 4 current Green Bay players. When they decide not to bring Dobbs back, it will be 3.
Well, yeah, Dobbs isn't going back. I mean, that's a given.
You have your team is wild. You have only Marvin Harrison and Kyle Pitts play in the South.
Dude, we're a hardy group in the North. I'm looking at snow at my window, and I got to shovel out 3 feet deep, and I'm not joking here, for 6 parking spots. You have any idea how bad that sucks?
Why'd you have to shovel out?
Compounded by all the salt trucks.
Why did you have to shovel out for 6 parking spots?
We're having a party this weekend, baby.
Oh, Super Bowl party. I can't come. Candy started working, so.
It's actually not even a Super Bowl party. It is a birthday party. 18th.
Birthday. I love Gunnar Helm at his ADP. I do. I truly do like that.
So explain that to me. Explain to me the love for Gunnar Helm. Like, I'm missing the boat.
There's really nothing to not like. I mean, in his rookie season, with the offense is what it is, he had 55 targets, 44 receptions, 69 points. He was trusted by Cam Ward. The coaching staff trusted him. There's nothing really, really bad to say about the way he plays. I mean, at Texas, he was on the field playing and just a monster, and he's doing those same things. And Cam Ward obviously trusts him. And when you have a quarterback that is trusts.
Wait, did you draft Kyler Murray, or is that the guy before you?
I did not take Kyler Murray. No, I did not.
All right. Well, that guy was smart to take Willis because he wasn't coming back to him.
You wanted Malik?
I was going to take Malik, yeah. Just so I could have more people with the Green Bay logo next to him.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Like, screw it. I'm here.
Make everyone think that I'm living in Wisconsin.
But the crazy thing that we've seen over the last couple of days, and everybody out there will be able to talk about this, is the fact that Jonathan Brooks has climbed over.
He should.
Hold on. He's climbed 5 rounds as of this point. Chig being a free agency does a lot of good for Gunnar Helm's value, to be honest with you. So if you built a Cam Ward, I honestly think that anybody who builds Cam Ward is going to probably have Gunnar Helm on their team. So there's going to be a lot of Gunnar Helm teams with Cam in this tournament specifically. So if that hits and it's a good week 16, 17 game, you might see a decent amount of that in there. And you can see here that after not going running back early, I started hammering some mid-round running backs, hoping that one of those guys hits. Logistically is all I need. And they all have different degrees of upside. There goes Tajay. Darkside, it's funny because somebody in the room, it was Cam Ward, Tajay. What was it yesterday? Who was watching yesterday? I'm not sure. Brooks as a riser would make me nervous. Torn ACL twice in the same knee is no joke, and we don't have much sample size for guys who dealt with this. FK, I agree with you. I was comfortable with Brooks in the 18th. I am not comfortable with Brooks in the 15th. Especially,
I don't think he's coming back to me at 15-12, but I can tell you if he does, he will be on my roster.
And that's fine. I mean, again,
I look at this as once you hit the last, really 16 on, but I'm at the turn, so it doesn't really matter. Those should be your differentiating picks anyway. Those are your wild cards to give you different chances to stumble in. Every once in a while they hit off.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
He's a perfect example of that. If he becomes a starter in the 15th round, win.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't get me wrong or twisted about it. I don't disagree with that mentality. But what I do think is that he was just for a very brief moment that 20th round electric pick that you would want to take. And right now there's just so much. It's the same thing about Joe Mixon, right? I drafted 2 Joe Mixon teams yesterday, where he was like the 5th running back on the team. If he doesn't play, it's no skin off my back, really. But if he does play, lightning rod, right? Could be really good. Who knows? There's a lot of question marks going around with a lot of these players. I wanted Tesla there. That didn't happen. So I am going to make a point to take Trey Tucker here. And again, Trey Tucker's a shoot for the moon type wide receiver too. Yesterday, WFN, if you watched the big board episode we threw out yesterday, and prior to that, I talked to you about, I did build a dirty Penix Pitts Mooney team, which was really weird. This stack, I wouldn't even call it an emergency stack. I actually think it's a good one, especially if you're thinking about tight end. So here we are going to take Joe again. Why not? Like I said, he can be a dead ass.
This is the one I'm worried about the most.
I don't disagree with it. But out of the 20 teams that I'm drafting, I have him on 3, and he's really not going to kill any team if he doesn't play.
Well, no, because he's at least your 6th running back.
It's the Jonathan Brooks discussion again. Both Brooks and Mixon. We don't have a sample size for Brooks. We do have a sample size for Mixon. No news is not good news in this scenario, But if he plays, great. I have an asset that I bought late. If he doesn't, it's also Nick Singleton, right? But having rookies or Brooks who haven't put a large sample size together, it's a worry. Dark Side going after DK or Dyke, however he likes to say his name there. And I also love Isaiah Likely, guys. I mean, Isaiah Likely
as a free
finally
agent,
grow out of the shadow. I'm not huge on the rookie wide receivers, though. I will tell you that.
That's fair, dude.
I would have loved Njoku to come back. He was another.
Oh man, I took him off my big board knowing you were going to take him.
I was going to take him where I took Mixon and Tucker, but you took JJ McCarthy. Gross. After everything we've talked about,
I believe in Minnesota's coaching staff,
and I don't believe in JJ McCarthy.
Well, he's basically the benefit of the doubt.
Right? I just don't believe in him. So that's fine for you if you want.
My whole team is Vikings or Packers.
I know, and it's disgusting. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Message to the kids at home: don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself, please. So, unless Gunnar Helm goes in these next couple of picks, that's who I'm taking. I also have Colby Parkinson queued up. I know the whole situation for the Rams tight ends is going to be weird next year. This year, Colby popped in the tight end market. 56 receptions and stuff is nothing to scoff at. But I like the growth potential for Helm, like I said. And the back end, you knew Colby was going to go there too. The back end. See, I talked about Caleb yesterday on why I don't really believe that that's going to work out. We're going to take your boy. You
can have Shador all you want. I think that is stupid.
Yeah, boy. You can hate it all you want, but
I hate everything about
Monken wanted to draft him.
Bro, they have one offensive lineman under contract right now. And who is re-signing for less than market worth with Cleveland?
No one.
They're not going to have a line in front of him.
No one.
He's going to break the record for most sacks. He's not smart. He's slow, and he loves getting hit.
He's going to toss it 200 times to Jerry Jeudy, dude.
They're going 0-17, and I'm loving it.
What about garbage time touchdown, man? Baby. You're always about garbage time king. You're over here taking Jadon.
Shador is the garbage time king.
You're over here taking Jadon Blue, who was a healthy scratch the majority of the season. You're also over here taking.
Yeah, but he was also the starter the last 4 games.
Who was a healthy scratch most of the season. He was not the starter the last 4 games. Jadon Blue was not.
Yes, he was.
The last 4 games of the season.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. No way.
Look at Snapshare, baby.
I'm looking it up right now.
You pull it up.
Okay. He was the starter in the last game of the season. And he might have been a starter in 10-26, but he sat between 10-26 and the 4th of January. So
listen, I'm not saying the guy's not a jackass off the field and needs to get to put things through his head. I'm saying
you might have drafted 3 jackasses in a row there. I don't know, man.
I mean, when you have 7 running backs, you're gonna miss on a couple of them.
I do also have 7 as well. All right. So we got 3, 7. I'd like to get another wide receiver and another tight end. We talked a lot heavily about Tua yesterday.
Yeah, what's your take on Tua?
I have some opinions, but
you're on the clock, so you got to think about it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take actually him.
Well, I got 4 on my queue, so if you miss them, I'm getting 2 of the 3. Oh, there we go. I'm getting 2 of them. 2 of my 4. Oh, and I got choices because he wasn't one of them. Ah, shit. Now I got to choose between all of them. All right. Because I went crazy Minnesota, I'm going to do that. So Oliver's probably the starting tight end in Minnesota. I have their running back. I have McCarthy, and I have J. Jeff.
Oh, that's a weird pick.
Well, Ty Simpson?
Yeah, I can't say that I agree with that.
Ty Simpson's probably the most athletic quarterback in this draft.
No. I meant Oliver. That Malik pick should have been Isaiah Bond, but we go the double Tennessee, knowing that Chig's contract is up.
Chig is not going to get a meaningful contract.
What'd you say?
He might just fade away.
What I'm hoping is that Chig goes to Washington.
That's fair. But he's not explosive. My running back room is James Cook, then a bunch of hope. My running back room is Kyron and a bunch of hope too. Yeah, I guess I'd rather have James Cook. It doesn't make your team any worse. Like that's what I'm saying is that it isn't. Yeah, my receiver room is J. Jeff and then 3 number 2s. There's so much variance. There's so much 5 number 2s. Draft that if you don't come out of the draft with 3 running backs at the first top half of the draft, you could be like Dark Side or CTZ, where you're going 2 in round 3 and 4. You could be like FK here, going 1 and then 5 and filling up somewhere else. If you're taking 3 running backs, and that's the thing that we talked about. If you're taking 3 quarterbacks or 3 running backs that early, you are saying to yourself that, okay, my viewpoint here is that most likely these gets in the 20th round. I love the front with the left pick. Get in the 20th round is amazing to me.
Well, he might, whatever. What if Kwesi was canned because he was about to release Hawk Daddy? Hey, Hawkinson can play, but we're
going to start a new one at 36, 4:36 Eastern.
Couple of years. Mendoza will be Hall of Fame quarterback. Dark Side, I love how you like to stir the pot there. I disagree with that. I think Mendoza has the chance to be a very good NFL quarterback, but possibly
here's a question.
Quarterback.
Dark Side, do you consider Matt Ryan a Hall of Fame quarterback? Because I think that's his ceiling.
I think Matt Ryan.
They're going to be 2 very comparable. Entered into a disaster franchise.
Had he won that Super Bowl, he would have been. I think if he had won that Super Bowl, he would have been right up, very close to.
All right, what did I say? 40, 36?
Yeah, he's coming up.
We're going to do another little board at 4:36.
Is he coming up on another Hall of Fame case?
Who?
So he's eligible in 2028. Matt Ryan is. He was an MVP, Pro Bowler during a time where, top 10 all-time in passing, top 10 all-time in quarterback or in touchdowns.
He's got a case, but I think that's Mendoza's best comp.
He has a real good case. FK, I don't mind 2 running backs early often, but the 3 early running back bid feels a bit overkill and set you up to probably fall behind this. This is the problem with the 3 running backs. 2, I think should be the max that I would.
I think 2 in the top 5 is what you should do.
That I would want to take. You saw my build in this last one that it gets a little spicy if you don't take 2 in the top 5. But again, all of these players have a chance to hit or not hit, depending on how situations roll down, right? But I think when you give yourself, like the Zach Charbonnet pick, for example, what is it? Go time?
No, Dark Side was totally right. He's as smart as Andrew Luck. Yeah, hit the button, Bob.
All right. And Andrew Luck could have been a contender. I like Andrew Luck. No, yeah, and he's not small by any means. Being smart in the NFL makes a difference. You can be extremely athletic and make bonehead plays all the time, and eventually you're going to not have a job. But if you are smart and you have skill sets,
how about that?
And you have skill sets that you're going to get trained into you, that's super relevant, super important.
All right, who we got in here? Bob, where are you at?
I'm not in it, apparently.
Bob, you suck.
I pressed it when you did. You said go time. I pressed it.
I did, but I don't see you.
I don't see you. You're not in. I'm not in yours.
Bob, you suck. All right. All right, guys. So the one we have on screen is obviously the one I'm doing. Any of you guys in the one that I am fourth in?
It's a shame. I can't even see who's in it. I don't know how. I clicked it at the same time you told me to click it, so I'm not sure what's up with that.
I must have been the 11th or the 12th. Either way, man. Now you get to talk mine up or talk mine down, depending on how you see it.
Talk yours up, talk yours down. All right, let me cancel this one then. All right. Can you
I'm going to go Gibbs and then probably receiver heavy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think up there, I'm going to roll one at the same time you're rolling one here. So we'll see.
That makes it hard for you to talk about mine when you're doing yours, Bob. Just saying.
So I honestly, the Gibbs pick, I get it. I really do. But it's the same trepidation that I have with guys like Goff, right? That I've talked about before. Is that offensive line needs to be fixed drastically for it to be something that I want to invest in with a guy like Gibbs. And we know that Gibbs is a powerhouse in terms of his explosiveness. And I think that when we look at explosiveness, that's Gibbs to a T. And my decision would probably be right there is Gibbs, JSN, or JT. And obviously, Gibbs has the better kind of JT has the better kind of offensive line right now. And I like JSN's probability to be successful next year too. So, I think that Gibbs isn't a bad pick. I would definitely not take Gibbs at the 1, 2, or the 3. I will tell you that. What's up, family? This is
the first 3 are the first 3.
This is the second little board. Dark Side and I missed out, so we're just kind of watching Joe.
Sorry, guys. Well, that's how it goes. You never know what you're going to get. You can't guarantee a clean board.
All right, so I'm going to have up here. I don't know why that's super flex ranking. Why the hell is that like that?
Here, that's a legit question. You think Barner is legit?
I think Barner is legit enough to be relevant, potentially from a fantasy perspective, eventually. He played well this year. Arroyo was drafted. Everybody was like, oh, us included, like, oh, who knows with these tight ends? Let's take a shot on Arroyo. But it all depends on
eventually now, though, Bob.
What?
Is eventually now.
I think I think what WFN here is that I think he is legit now, but his ceiling will be kept because there's 2 tight ends there. It's the same reason why the Colby Parkinsons, Terrence Ferguson's, Higbees, all 3 of those guys have value on the team. And, having 2 tight ends to be valued in that way, I don't think is a bad idea for a team. From a fantasy perspective, his value is definitely capped, like 1,000%. Right? All right, so your pick is coming up here. London went. Honestly, if Bowers is on the board, Joe, I'd take Bowers.
I'm not taking Powers, I'm taking Pickens.
I don't hate that either.
Early tight ends. I can get that value back later.
I don't hate that either. I think the issue, FK, here is when a tight end is completely incapable of blocking, it limits time on the field unless the team is scheming plays around. That's absolutely 100% a fact. I sold Barner and Fannin preseason and Adden and Njoku. It sucks. Fannon's a dude. Barner, I'm okay missing out on Barner. I had quite a bit of Arroyo as well, to be honest with you. So again, guys, we're watching Joe do a solo dolo draft right here because we were not able to get into it. Maybe FK was.
Yeah, FK, you in here?
I like that T. Higgins pick, to be honest with you. I think that T, where his value is right now, he goes anywhere from the top of the 3rd to the bottom of the 3rd. Stacking up your team with 2 wide receiver 2s, though, is not a bad idea because these 2 guys are on offenses that will create space for these wide receivers to be successful. So there's nothing in there for me that says that I wouldn't want to take them. Would I take T over Josh Allen? Yeah, I would. And because you took the first round running back, it gives you that luxury that you don't have to push the third round running back. And so you get a little bit of variance there too, where people are really worried about that. And on the fourth or fifth round here, you'll probably sneak in a Judkins or not Ken Walker, but a Judkins.
It won't be Judkins, but it'll be some of that ilk.
Or a Trevion or something like that. Maybe even a Javonte Williams in the fifth instead of the fourth and pick up another wide receiver in the fourth.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
So that's kind of what I'd be looking at. And also, Joe, I wouldn't sleep on Ramondre Stevenson in these drafts either. I mean, yes, does he have fumble problems? Yes. But even when a more talented player was there this year, he still stayed on the field because he can block.
It was a rookie, though. And Vrabel's old school and doesn't give love to rookies. I think the Stevenson balloon pops.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, too, with a guy like Tyler Warren, if Tyler Warren ends up falling down to the sixth round, he's a tight end that I don't necessarily have to take because we showed you a little bit about all of the value that comes after Tyler Warren. But if he's there, I don't think it's a bad thing. This 4 running back start, though, I just don't get.
No.
I
understand that we're on Underdog. I just
don't get it.
But...
And Steven and family, I get it. He is a ticking time bomb. But when you look at his stats, he's a very pedestrian player. But when 130 carries this season, 603 yards, plus he got some receptions there. So where he's being valued at, I necessarily wouldn't call him a ticking time bomb. I think his value is fair. Like, we're very far removed from the 2023 fantasy season where people were drafting him in the second and third round, where he absolutely was a time bomb. But he seems to be settled into a running back that is capable of getting 140, 150 fantasy points with potential for multi-touchdown weeks in there with a quarterback like Drake May. I get it. If he fumbles, he sits. Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't think he gets a chance.
And dark side, here's the other point too, is that Henderson was an elite pass blocking running back in college. And it was really confusing why it just didn't materialize in the NFL. It will come. It will come for him. And I do believe that Henderson will be successful. You guys know I'm a Henderson stan. We talked about this ad nauseum last year. And then I'm very much not a Ramondre bust guy. But Ramondre is still 27 years old. When you look at his contract, he signed a 4-year extension in June 2024. So he's still going to be part of the plans going into next season and the season after that. Will you see a little bit more work split to the Henderson side of the ball? Yes. But does that make Henderson an even scarier purchase in the 4th round? Absolutely. Because it is not guaranteed that he is going to be the guy. And when all things are said and done, we look at fumbling wise, Ramondre's had 6 fumbles the last 2 years. So that is problematic. But even the last 2 years, he's also had 7 touchdowns rushing and a couple through the air. So there is still meat on the bone to make his ADP worth it. But I really don't have a problem if you want to avoid him and hammer some rookies as well. But I'm just saying that value is there. Also, Jaylen Warren coming back around. I hope Joe's able to get Jaylen Warren here on the comeback. He's a guy that I think after having 3 wide receivers like you do, that you build a little bit of value potentially with him. If you don't want to, it's fair.
I'm looking at the backs right now, Bob. I pulled them up here. No one's really truly moving the needle for me.
Other guys I like here is Marv, BTJ.
Those are 2 of the 3 on my list. They're not the first one on my list, but they're 2 of the 3 on my list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. It is always when it hurts the most. And Henry's got a little bit more wear on the tires, but I wouldn't have done that.
There's 2 reasons I went with Warren.
Yeah, but Look, the reason you shouldn't have done that is that the room had the back behind you, there was already 2 tight ends taken.
Oh, that's fair. That was just bad drafting math. I'll give you that. That was stupid on my part.
You could have had Warren and Warren.
I don't want the other Warren. I'm actually going to do something crazy here unless Harrison comes to me.
Who are you taking? Can you please say?
I'll be taking Pitts on the comeback.
I think you went with the wrong 2 tight ends if you're going to do that.
What 2 tight ends would you say?
I wouldn't have taken Warren because unless you're planning on taking DJ a little bit later in this draft.
I am.
Okay. And Pitts if you're going to take Penix.
I'm probably not taking Penix because I'm going to hope on a quarterback to slip to me. Unless Pitts goes here, I'm taking the quarterback now. Nope, not taking Pitts. But either way, I'm done at tight end now.
I would agree that you probably can be tight end. I would have said, though, that the reason I didn't like the Warren pick is that I would have rather picked up one of either Marv or Warren and then shot my shot with a Dak Fergie to go with your Pickens.
I might still do Dak Fergie as you say that out loud.
That's why I think that Warren's an unnecessary part of this build. I'm not saying that's
fair too. I mean, I get it. I'm also trying to do a 2 quarterback build, and I like Daniel Jones' upside for the playoff run.
I wouldn't take a 2 quarterback build with Daniel Jones. Absolutely not. He's in a 3 quarterback build.
Yeah, I guess.
You cannot 2 quarterback build Daniel Jones.
I mean,
a team just got a new owner in one league. Bryce is QB4 and has 9 tight ends. Oh my God. He will start dealing those tight ends. Who are the tight ends, family? Really curious. See, now you lost out on Dak because
I lost on Dak. I took Pitts instead of Dak. That was a conscious.
No, you took Warren instead of Dak.
See, I'm not convinced in Warren, Bob. He never puts up fancy numbers. He always has a narrative.
I'm not talking about Jalen Warren. I'm talking about Tyler Warren.
But none of the backs that have gone are ones I want.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I would have gone Kyle Pitts and Dak instead of going Tyler and Pitts.
Oh, I get what you're saying. But now I don't need to go with the Dallas push. I have 2 Dallas players. That's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it would have been nice, though, to get Dak.
Dak would have been nice. I was actually kind of hoping he was going to fall to me, but it didn't.
Now you have all 3 of your top wide receivers unstacked, though, and I don't really like that.
Again, worse things will happen.
If you're, I'd be going. Pittman just went.
Pittman was a look. Pittman was definitely on this list.
Rico's on my watch list right here, though.
I'm going Jacoby. I think Jacoby gives me just as much value.
You see, you and I, the last 3 pick, I was with you for the first 5, but these last 3, I am off your bus. I don't know what your plan is.
Don't you worry about my plan.
I don't see the vision.
The vision has slipped.
That'd be not a bad idea in the Superflex League there, family. I like the thought process there. I mean, right here, I would say if I would say that I would like to have Brock Purdy or Bo Nix here.
I know. I'm going to do something you're going to hate as well.
I can't possibly fathom what you could do to hate it.
Damn it, there he just went. I was going to take Worthy.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, Nix is the one I'm going to take.
If he's mobile enough that maybe you get a little bit of action there.
Well, that's the thing. Is I wanted I get it. Everyone loves stacks, and there's value, and I'm not fighting.
No, I'm not saying that in this tournament specifically that it's Dark Side. We've talked about this too. Is that I like to do it because it makes me have less things right in case bye weeks don't hit the correct way for me, because that's the variable in here that we all don't know. We all don't know when these bye weeks are going to happen. And it would suck if both the quarterbacks you have are on bye the same week and it's week 14, for example. So that's like the vision for the 3 quarterback build, right? Is that you're hoping, but there's a chance that all 3 of those quarterbacks could be on there anyway, and it doesn't matter. But what I don't like necessarily is the fact that you had it. I still think that this team should include Michael Pennis and Darnell Mooney. Because you have Kyle Pitts, you invested a high capital in Pitts. I think this team with
Have
Knicks
a little ATL love.
should have Penix and it should have DJ. I think those three those three are the quarterbacks on your roster: Knicks, Penix, and DJ. I wouldn't push them higher. But so these are the 9 tight ends the guy has. He'll be willing to deal some of them. I'd be positioning myself in the Pitts and Strange and Ferguson if I were.
Oh, Bob, you love some Strange.
Wow, crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's happened where you draft a team and all the players and like a good grouping of your players that's by, but it's going to happen to everybody. So it's not like the end of the world.
No, it's not. It's something you adjust to.
I would like to see you draft a rookie running back here.
Bob, it's amazing. There's one at the top of my list right now.
Okay. And then I'd like to see you get Tyrone.
Tracy? He's also on my list.
Okay. Everybody. It's got to be good Strange, though. You know?
That's true.
I don't want
to suffocate you.
You know, thinking about food, right? If I'm thinking about food, I would think that now I love all various kinds of food. But the one kind of thing that gets me is unnamed meat. Like my wife.
That's an Asian thing, dude.
My wife one day was like, "Eat this meat," and I was like, "Okay." And it literally, the aroma after it entered into your mouth was literal ass. And I was like, "Baby, what is this?" And she goes, "It's pig intestine." And I was like, "Oh, well, please never have that again. I do not want that ever again." And sometimes what happens is that the restaurateurs don't clean it out well enough and it still has the smell of ass. So like that was a very shocking flavor. You know, like not something that I want to return to again. Is this Tyrone Tracy?
No, this is Gainwell.
I think that was a bad pick. I think that's a bad pick.
Well, it's debating between him or Golden.
It should have been Tracy.
I think I'll get Tracy in the next round.
I disagree. Tracy's gonna go at the 12-4. You're gonna miss him. Gainwell's the one that you could have let slip. There is a world where the Steelers bring him back and he has another great season. And there's a world where he goes off to another team and does absolutely nothing like he did with Philadelphia for the last 4 years.
I hear it. I know it.
Taking risks.
But I doubt
I agree with that, FK.
Where he does that, though.
I agree, FK, that would be a great name for a band. Unnamed Meat.
Unnamed.
All right, there goes Tracy at the 11-11. That tracks. Again, like I've talked about before, there is a very real world where one of these guys smacks. One of these running backs is going to be a great value. I love Godwin in this range as well. Here in this draft going after Baker. These drafting 3 quarterbacks is definitely pushing the quarterbacks back up the board. I expect during Best Ball Mania season for the quarterbacks to come down to earth a little bit more.
Yeah, because you'll know their buys.
There's going to be greater value across the board. All right, Joe, talk to me here. Where are you looking?
Probably somewhere you'll hate.
I wouldn't hate another rookie here with Katron Allen if he's still available.
Penn
State product or Jalen McMillan to get yourself another wide receiver.
I'm definitely going receiver here.
All right, so McMillan?
Probably not. You know I hate him. No, McMillan I do love. Timeout.
And Downs?
Downs is on the list, but they didn't get him in 2 rounds.
If you're going DJ?
I am going DJ. That's why. But Downs is also – isn't Downs the one who's the free agent?
No,
Pierce is. Never mind.
Pittman is and Pierce, I believe.
Pittman's definitely still there.
Yeah, but I believe he's a free agent potentially too. No, Downs is not still signed. Downs is still signed.
Boosh. I'm drafting a lot of Romeo, man. I think he's going to Buffalo.
That's fine, but I just don't. I don't see why outside of like Diggs, right? But I don't really see a wide receiver that's I would really want to keep.
Dude, my receiving room's pretty solid at this point.
Okay, yeah. So Pittman is still signed for them for DJ. With the way the quarterback room is working out, it might be soon, if not the next round. After this next round, you might want to think about DJ.
Oh, DJ's not this pick. He's the next pick. All right, Charbonnet or Downs? I think I'm going Sharp.
Downs. I think Downs.
Went Sharps. I went Sharps because my running back room is significantly weaker than my receiver room.
But don't worry about that. You don't need to worry about that because
I still worry about that.
Here's the thing:
he's more likely to hit a starting lineup for me.
Listen, I get that, but there's no reason to worry about that because what you're going is you want to maximize the potential for DJ if you get him, and you only have one asset, and you have no assets from Denver. So like, there's a chance that really pops for you. That Bo Nix and unstacked Bo Nix will be great. But the chances that somebody else has a stack that's better than your unstacked one, there's potential. The reason I say don't draft Sharps is because there's a guy, there is Brian Robinson Jr. Around later. Rashad White soon as well. Emmanuel Wilson, who looked good in relief of Jacobs when Jacobs went down. So there's three guys there that I think Sharps isn't a bad get. I don't like. I'm not saying
Dude,
that's
Walker leaves. Sharps is a home run.
Yeah, this one.
Hey, someone tell me the obsession with Pat Bryant. Why is sometimes he going in like the 9th round and sometimes he's going in the 16th round?
Pat Bryant looked good this year during the play that he had. Ken Walker's value is peak right now.
Yeah, so which means Sharps is in the inverse.
If you do sell, he is going to give you a massive return, in my opinion, in Dynasty. People are loving the Ken Walker. Loving it. The Travis Hunter pick, I don't get. I think it was you, Darkside, we were talking to about Travis Hunter last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't get that pick. We talked yesterday, Joe. I don't know if you got a chance to watch. We talked yesterday about the possibility that if you're drafting Trey McBride, Harrison, or Michael Wilson, that it could be a good idea as a last round or very late round Tua. If they move on from Kyler, they could potentially bring in a guy like Tua, another lefty who actually sees over the line. Could be interesting.
He only throws to the left side, though, so we'll see. I don't think Tua really is long for this world, though. If he gets cut, he just might quit.
I don't know if he quits, but I do think that he has a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, with less and less brain power to do it because of McDaniels.
FK, I love Torrey Horton right now. All right, get Downs. You got him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Downs, dude. This whole thing might screw me, but
that worked out for you, though.
As long as Jones is still there on the turn, the guy in the one hole doesn't have a quarterback, I don't think. So that's the risk.
Yeah, the likelihood that he takes a hurt one when he has 0 is not high, though.
Oh shit!
Jones. So that guy took 3. That sucks. Whatever.
It does.
Is the Penix monster still there?
Oh, we're getting some of that.
All right. It'd been nice to get because if that Sharps pick was Downs, the DJ would have slid right in there, and then Penix on the comeback. Brisket. There goes the Judy. All right, get the Penix.
Yeah. I kind of have to take Penix now.
You got to, yeah. Penix. But yeah, I love Torrey Horton a lot. And the thing is, I'm not sure they let Shaheed walk, but I'm not sure that Shaheed has earned like a huge contract in another place. He signed a 1-year prove-it deal for $5.2 million. Maybe they decide to give him a $3 million deal, or not $3 million deal, like a 3-year, $10 million, 3-year, 15 million, something like that would not be out of the realm of possibility for a guy like Rashid Shaheed. But I definitely am taking more chances on Torrey Horton. Look at how McMillan fell there, Joe.
I saw that.
That was a little wild. I forgot
Big
that he
drop.
was even on the board. I've also been scooping up Horton. And the reason I don't know if they move on from Shaheed is that we still have the Super Bowl. If Shaheed shows out and has a great Super Bowl game,
he's had a great playoff so far, though.
Well, from a return perspective, and just like he's a field stretcher, and Torrey Horton profiles similarly. I think Torrey Horton's value is really nice. He's one of those guys that I really like right there. Yeah, if he goes off, recency bias is going to be real. It's going to be real. Speaking of rookie wide receivers, what's the thinking on Alec Manor? I think that Tennessee is going to try to rework their wide receiver room this year to better complement Cam Ward's abilities. Chimere Dike is going to see the field. In what capacity is something to really think about. I do like him in these drafts.
Yeah, I don't think Ridley's staying there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long they want to keep Ridley, and then they're probably going to draft a guy too. So Iron Man is going to be relevant. It's just how relevant is he going to be? This legitimately is a great compliment for Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins is just solid. I mean, he's a guy who works hard. When he's on the field, if they give him the ball, he has the chance to be very successful. 46 receptions, 550 yards this year. You look at every year he's been in the NFL. Every year he's been in the NFL, he's just been another dude on the field, but he does what he's asked to do. And I think that thing cannot be slept on when it comes to a quarterback or a wide receiver like that.
Manuel Wilson or Tank Bigsby?
Wilson. Don't make Tank Bigsby a thing again, Joe.
I just wanted to piss you off.
Adding guys in the Super Bowl for a week in Dynasty makes so much sense. If they have a great game and you get a future third winning. Yeah, I think that's a smart strategy. All things considered, the Super Bowl can play out in so many different ways. I know, like, I have a little mitten that's still in it, but like I just have Ken Walker. But like, I know that there's some people that watch us that have some roster still available in the playoff best ball. There's a lot of eyeballs on this game. A lot of eyeballs. And that's why that Shaheed value is one of those ones that's like, he's shown that he can be a good wide receiver. But are they going to give him the opportunities to freaking ads, dude? Are they going to give him the opportunities to show that he can be successful? I think so. And then give him the money and then so that he can get the money that he needs. 2 touchdowns isn't like a great season by any means. But why? But he can be successful. The 2 previous, he only played in 9 games this year. Last year he played in 9 games. Year before that 6 games. So he's had some health concerns. But I don't want to take that kind of player in the 14th round when I can take one of those running backs or a wide receiver that has similar-ish value. The New England wide receivers, anyone could go off. That's absolutely true. If we look at the New England depth chart, just to take a look at what those wide receivers are looking like right now, you have Booty, who's either going to go like 3 for 60 or 3 for 100, or he's going to go 1 for 5. You have on there as well Demario Douglas, who profiles similarly. Kyle Williams, who hasn't really shown up too much this season. Stephon Diggs is what people might say is the go-to in that scenario. Props for Stephon Diggs playing in this Super Bowl here. but I think that anybody from that game can go off, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I was not drafting a lot of those players. Shame for me, was not drafting a lot of New England guys just because it was not something that they're not. All of these wide receivers are not going to accumulate a lot of points. But I think that Seattle's defense is good enough that none of them are really going to make their mark. If you get what I'm saying, I think that like Diggs probably has the highest capacity to make a mark in this game, but maybe this is the game where they finally decide to break into Kyle Williams a little bit more. Because there's not a lot of tape there on him. DeMario, it's just I think that from the New England perspective, I really do think that New England is going to probably get shellacked in this game.
Yeah, they should.
But I also think that New England's defense is good enough to get after Darnold enough, but the playmakers on the field for Seattle, I think, are a bit better than the playmakers on the field for New England. So that's kind of where I feel about that. Yeah, if Kyle Williams goes 100 and a touchdown, value to the moon. You get a dirty Marvin Mims. Look at you.
Yeah, I did.
No Darnell Mooney?
No, I came down to Mims or Mooney. Mims has upside. Mims has a ceiling that can explode. Mooney doesn't.
Disagree. Are you going quarterback here in the last round?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go quarterback you're going to hate. Might even spit your drink out about.
I want you to take Justin Fields. Justin.
Close. Very close.
Motherfucking Fields. Is it Will Howard?
Quarterbacks who aren't going to be playing. I might as well take one on the team that has a chance.
I hope it's Will Howard.
It's definitely not worth Howard.
There should not be 100 picks between Booty and Hollins. I agree with that 1,000%. Where did Booty go in this draft? We'll have to investigate. The only reason that a guy like Kayshon Booty goes that high is just because he's like, you see that 93 yards, 103-yard game, and he smacks, but that's only because he got 5 targets, 6 targets in that game. He has the playmaking ability. If they decide to give him the ball more, he has the playmaking ability to be very successful. I don't know. I think they should give him the ball more, but that's just on me. Do you factor in them having one more game to go if you have a 50-50 choice in their best ball league? Darnold, Diggs, Walker, et cetera. Yeah, they all could. But if they have a great game, you're getting those picks, and it's going to be delightful for you. No! Oh, I'm glad I didn't have any drink or food in my mouth. He is awful, dude.
He's a decent start for 4 weeks. That's all I need.
I get. Take Riley Leonard at that point.
Oh no, he's going to have they're going to give him a chance before Riley Leonard.
All right, and I'm gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna go to this. So this is from Vikings territory. Author is Dustin Baker. They're predicting the quarterback market. They've got, and this is a wild one. This is a head turner. Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, Anthony Richardson.
Well, Richardson's still a Colt. They're
Cleveland.
Not trading for him.
Shadur, Deshaun, Trinidad Chambliss. The Colts. Maybe they go out and get the Zach Wilson they predict.
No.
Miami Dolphins, they're predicting that maybe they go with Malik Willis and have Tua. Vikings prediction is that they go Kyler Murray.
You're just quoting people who are wrong right now, Bob, and you're just wasting everyone's time in the process.
Oh, man. It says the Steelers might go after trade. This is just some guy's opinion. I mean, it's just, an opinion is an opinion. Who would have thought Atlanta would be unsettled at quarterback now in New Orleans set? They're set. They're on Penix. It's not like
you just don't like the answer. But I can tell you, so I went out of my way to do the 2 early tight ends thing. I'm not sure I liked it, but I did it. The 2 I got, though, I mean, Warren had a great year with Jones.
Well, so here's where I'm saying that this early tight end is a thing. It's not that you're taking both Tyler Warren and Pitts, but I'm saying if you're going super early tight ends, then it's Brock Bowers, Pitts, call it a day.
Well, I'd rather have the top end of Pickens.
That's fine. But scroll down the board.
Pitts in the neighborhood he's at is fair priced.
I think Pitts in the 7th is where he should be. And that changed from where he was like prior. But scroll down a little bit. Or when you look at the board here, the early tight end, and I
look at the receivers who go after Pitts. Johnson, Diggs, Carousel. So, I'd rather have Pickens over Bowers than lose.
No. I'm there with you. But what I also want to say though is that when I look at this board, right, is that the Kyle Pitts pairs really well if you can, like here, Sam Laporta went a little bit later than typically I think he's gone, or the Dalton Kincaid. So like why I'm saying that I'm anti-Tyler Warren in this build is that the Kyle Pitts and then coming back and then in the next round going Dalton Kincaid, and where you got Tyler Warren, put that into Dak. And then that Bo Nix pick could have been,
I worked things out with Denver by the end.
No, I'm there with you. I understand.
I actually kind of really like this team, Bob.
Here, let me share my
screen.
Gross
in all the most beautiful ways.
Yeah, Walker went before Bucky in this one, I believe. I want to share my screen for just a minute here, Joe.
You want to pick before him. But Bob, I gotta get to the point where I gotta bail. So we got
yeah, I know. I just want to show this specific draft. So 11. This was the dirty little board that we did, or that I showed you. The very dirty one. And I was in the 4th pick. So a similar kind of setup as you have there. Mm-hmm. Gibbs went in the 2 hole. I felt with Chase. I come back and this is the 2-2. I get Travis Etienne. Do I like him? Not really. Taking a chance there. We set up the Terry McLaurin, Jane Daniels, Kyle Pitts here in the 7th. But here you can see Sam Laporta in the 7th here, where he was in the 9th there, which isn't very common, right?
No, it's not.
Coming back around, double up the running back. Avoid a lot of whatever's happening here. Take Juwan, get some Tyron and Kenneth Gainwell here, right? And then Penix in the 15th down here. And so here, let's say, and again, my team's not by no means is great, but this is a Pitts with two shit tight ends. Now, if you go to, where's my next one over here? Okay, this is one where I took tight end early, the double early tight end. And this is from the 7th.
See, I don't like it with Bowers. Okay. The second round's too valuable for a tight end. And why did McBride go in the 1st? That was a bad draft you guys had overall. Bad team.
So this was me at the 7. We build CD, Zay. We still got 2 good running backs there. Kyle Pitts again in the 7th. So this team is Bowers and Pitts. And then Kittle in the 11th as just some juice on top. Get some quarterback action. And then we spread it around with some running backs in that middle to last round. And then we end with another Dallas and a Washington player. What I'm saying is that any one of these teams, other than if you're totally out of it at quarterback or whatever, any one of these teams can hit. But the tight end, I think, is a crux that I think as a community we're still trying to figure out, because you can see that even Colston Loveland here, sometimes he goes in the 3rd, but if you look, we have McBride, Bowers, Loveland. Then here Warren was at the 6th. And you're not going to see a lot of double taps on Warren and Pitts, so that gives you a little bit of variance there too, Joe.
Sure does.
But like this grouping of guys, any one, I believe, from Loveland, Warren, Fannin, Pitts, Laporta, Kraft, has the chance to be the number 1 overall tight end next year if things shake down their way. So you're right in saying that you don't necessarily have to go to Bowers or McBride, but you also don't necessarily have to double tap two of these guys. I think you can do it by getting one, and then say you want to pull a Kincaid around later, or you want to wait for Ferguson. Like, your build set up so well where you could have waited a couple rounds. You could have got Dak and then waited and got Ferguson, that you didn't have to push that so far up the board, if you get what I'm saying.
No, I get the Dak Ferguson thing was certainly something I was considering, but I wanted to, if not for no other reasons other than entertainment value, show what the world of two tight ends early is with me doing it. So that's what we did here, guys. We love having you.
It's possible. Wednesday,
right?
Wednesday, 3:45. We'll be with you. Thanks for everybody. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll be with you on Wednesday. Thanks.